What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark, MyMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and it's still March Madness. And I'm reviewing my favorite, well, not really my favorite, because I'm reviewing films also that I don't have reviews of on my channel. So if it already existed, like Maestro, I'm trying not to re-review movies, but I was trying to review 31 good, great, or excellent Netflix movies that I had not yet reviewed to prove that Netflix is capable of, because sometimes it feels like, you sit down and you watch La Dolce Villa and you're like, oh God. uh, uh, or The Deliverance from last year, and you're like, oh my God, can they make good movies anymore? I don't think they can. Um, no, they can every once in a while, and one of them was I Care a Lot, starring Rosamund Pike, Peter Dinklage, Chris Messina, Isa Gonzalez, Dianne Wiest, and Alicia Witt. And Rosamund ended up getting the Golden Globe for this movie for Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy. And honestly, probably should have gotten the Oscar nomination. I liked this movie a lot when this first came out. And it's kind of chilling when you think about it, especially with the whole guardianship thing and the fact that there are people out there that do this, like use guardianship as sort of a predatory thing to try to find people who don't have family members and latch onto them and kind of force them into situations to where they suddenly get to control their whole life. It's scary. It's not quite as funny as you would think it is. But there's some humor in it, and the acting is fantastic. I love Dianne Wiest in this. I also would have nominated her. She's a fantastic actress. She's a 2-time Academy Award winner. I read an article from her a while ago where she was talking about how she was poor and losing her home because it was hard for her to get work, and like people weren't hiring her. And this was years ago, maybe like 10 years ago. And I just thought that was so sad that somebody of her caliber ever has a hard time finding work. And then I look at her in like Mayor of Kingstown, where they just eventually wrote her off because they didn't know how to use her. Like, her character was so underutilized, it was painful. I ended up stopping. I stopped watching just because I felt like they were just mistreating Dianne Wiest. Like, you have Jeremy Renner and then you have Dianne Wiest, and if you can't figure out how to use her in a manner befitting her talent, then fire your writers and hire new ones. She's not the problem. Your writers are. So, and this proves it because she's in a supporting role here, but every scene she's in is fire. Every scene Dianne has, she's great. She's excellent. And I can say that for the rest of the supporting cast too. I thought Peter Dinklage was great when he comes into this. Chris Messina is great in this. Isaiah Whitlock Jr. is also in this. I should have mentioned him as the judge. And like, everybody's great, but Rosamund obviously stands out as the lead, and she just controls the film. At some point, they aged her, and they said she was 39. I was like, she's not 39. She's, I get so weirded out when somebody ends up getting aged younger than me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm at that point in my life where I'm now older than this person. I'm like, I'm not older than Rosamund Pike. Like, so anyway, but yeah, and this was made a couple of years ago, so I was not 39 when this movie came out. I'm just watching it now, looking at it and going like, oh my God. So now you know how old I am, sort of, relatively. And it's it's I guess a sobering effect, whatever, to watch it. But she's engaging to watch, and second time through, it's under 2 hours. The movie still moves along. actually moves along really well. And you get to like there's like the first hour where we're moving at a quick pace, like things are happening. And then there's like the second half where you actually reach a point in the movie where you're like, man, is the movie almost over? And then stuff happens and you're like, oh, okay, we're good. So that's how they keep the movie going. And you see that, and then eventually you reach sort of like the end. And the end has a nice little twist to it. I like this movie. I know critics didn't like weren't 100% all over this when it came out, but I thought it balanced the dark humor rather well, and everything kind of tied up in the end in a way that was tragically funny, but also, uh, I mean, was anybody really upset? You know, like so. I definitely recommend this movie. I think for no other reason than the performances are fantastic, and if you know nothing about guardianship, it'll haunt you as you age. You'll be like, "Oh God, please, please don't let me have a Rosamund Pike in my life." um, just make you more aware of the things that are going on and around you. The audio description is fantastic. I think Julian Smith? Is it Julian Smith that did this? I think it's Julian Smith. Uh, I think I'm right. Um, so I didn't catch the writer, and yeah, but it was well done. Like the audio description track was well done, and I have no complaints. I came here to tell you I Care a Lot. I do. It's one of my actually favorite Netflix movies, and I wanted to close out the. I kind of threw some stuff there in the middle, allowed Velvet Buzzsaw to happen, uh, because I listened to somebody who was like, "Oh my God, you'll love Velvet Buzzsaw." Nope. So I didn't really even give you 31 good, great, or excellent movies. I gave you like 30. Uh, and uh, and there was one that I watched that I realized the second time through didn't like it as much. Midnight Sky. But I do love this movie. I liked it just as much the second time through as I did the first time. It's one of my favorite Netflix originals. I'm giving I Care a Lot an A. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.